I slept and thought and watched as others walked. The window from the Hyde looked out upon the tourist track up to Ben Nevis, and I conjectured, could I or couldn't I see the summit from here? Subsequently, others have conjectured that I won't find what I'm looking for on the top of a mountain or any other metaphorical summit. This followed by a residency as walking artist for ordinary culture at Duke's Wood, which is in North Nottinghamshire, where there are no mountains and perhaps no summits, or only the summit that I'm trying to attain. And I walked the area at night because I particularly like to walk in challenging circumstances. And for me, the only way to walk in a challenging circumstance through the fields of North Nottinghamshire was at night and alone. This followed recently by a residency in a gallery, in an interior space at Alison Gallery, in a project that she calls Spare Room. And there are a number of us who took on a spare room in the gallery. And here I left my walking, or rather my striding out in remote places outside. And inside I began pacing and stepping out around the tiny room, and invited a dancer I'd come across, a rockabilly dancer, to come and dance with me on a Saturday morning, and we danced around the rooms. So I walk alone, and I walk with groups. The experience is very different, clearly. Almost any place where I walk alone can feel remote. This remote area can change into a place of conviviality when I walk the same route with a group. For me, a walk can be a line of inquiry. I'm walking in my preferred space in wild and mountainous places, places where I can become independent again and remote from any immediate help. I find this presents for me a situation where walking and art can come together, for me. On the subject of success and failure, I did a walk for Quad. They had a whole season called Failure, and I led a walk called an Epic. An epic is the name that's given by mountaineers and hill walkers and climbers for something that's gone pretty drastically wrong. Hopefully, no one's died, but people take as much joy in discussing the broken ankle that meant that they had to be carried several miles to the nearest road. And that's what I did. I took people on an epic walk. So, as I say, I've used lines of walkers and my own solitary practice in the hills and in cities, and I've transposed mountaineering and feelings of mountaineering from one landscape to another. And I often describe my walking as contouring. My approach has been to assume authority in all situations that may befit a mountainous or hazardous location. And groups who have walked with me have recognised that a degree of performance is taking place and have assumed the role of outward-bound adventurers. And that's what I want you to do now, to assume the role of outward-bound adventurers. Thomas A. Clarke, which some of you may be familiar with, as we seem to like quotes, wrote a number of short sentences in praise of walking, and this one I particularly thought was appropriate for today. There are walks on which we tread in the footpaths. I was bound to mess it up, wasn't I? I was bound to fail. There are walks in which we tread in the footsteps of others, walks on which we strike out entirely for ourselves. So, a walk is transport for now. And apparently, according to somebody that Rebecca Solnit quoted, our brains work better at 3 miles an hour. So we are going to walk. We're going to, contour this building until 6:20. I've set my alarm. When I'll lead you back into the space for the next presentation. I want you to walk in silence, and I have 2 cameras. I want each person to take 1 shot and pass it on to the next person in silence. You take whatever photograph you want to take while staying within the line of walkers. Now I accept there is success and failure in this, because some people, all of you might say, bugger that, I'm not following Alison to walk. So those of you who want to walk, join me outside the space. And this is great, I can fail today in safety.